Hi everyone, I'm just going to walk you through my research I did for this class. I made a slideshow that you can view on the classroom page, but I'm just going to further explain it and open up a couple additional applications that I talk about and resources, and you can kind of see what I see from my view. So kind of my introduction is in February, I implemented my first flipped classroom for my Algebra 2 class. I really enjoyed working through it. My students enjoyed it. My co-teachers enjoyed it. And even my administration enjoyed it. They'd come to me and say, oh, I heard like all the kids are talking about what you did in class today, and asking if other classes can do similar things. So that made me happy because students were just a lot more engaged. Watching videos for homework was getting completed more than a traditional homework assignment. My co-teachers got a lot more hands-on experience interacting with all of the students, and I actually even got observed during one of the lessons, and my administrator appreciated the student-centered activities. So what I wanted to do for this project is like further research on what engages students in a flipped classroom, and what technology tools can be used to track progress. Things got a little shifted due to the closures of schools, but I still got the majority of my research done. So a little bit of background. So my placement was at the charter school that I work with, and it's an urban charter school, and it's just a high school, so it's just grades 9 through 12, and there's approximately 300 total students. Students are coming from your surrounding areas. If you're familiar with the area, they're coming from Buffalo, Lackawanna, Hamburg, West Seneca, Kenmore, Eden, Orchard Park, etc. And my school's actually very limited with technology. All we have are department Chromebook carts, and it's not one-to-one at all. Being more specific with the class that I did this research on was my Algebra 2 Regents class. I have 3 class periods. 2 of those class periods I have co-teachers in, and altogether there's about 15 of them have IEP or 504 plans. 5 of them are ESL students, and I have 5 gifted students. So these are the 4 research questions that kind of help direct my research. So the first is, how do technology tools help track student progress? During practice activities, what technology tools differentiate and give immediate feedback to the students and the teachers? What technology tools allow for personalized feedback, and what types of videos provide the most engaging content? So starting with the first one about the technology tools to track progress. I first want to talk about Edpuzzle. I love Edpuzzle. I learned about it, a year and a half ago in one of those summer classes about flipped learning, and I really liked how it works. So some of the advantages with Edpuzzle are it easily integrates with Google Classroom. Students don't need to create an Edpuzzle account. It just matches up with their Google Classroom account. You get scores based on completion and accuracy on checkpoint questions, and the individual and class reports are easy to read. I'm going to look at that a little further with you. Couple disadvantages are I get many complaints from students about the iPhone app. There's like a lot of glitches, especially when it comes to reading the math type. So a lot of my checkpoint questions I have to write in math form, with exponents and fractions and variables, and sometimes that's hard for them to see, especially on a mobile device. So if you go through my slideshow, you'll see pictures and what I'm pointing out, but I'm also going to show it to you here. So with Edpuzzle, this gradebook feature is super nice in that I can see everyone's progress. Kind of looking at from a teacher standpoint, basically my videos are about 10 minutes long, and I have 2 checkpoint questions. And it's it would be counted as a 5-point homework assignment. With this online learning, it's a little different, but normally in the flipped classroom, it's 5 points. You got 2 points for answering each of the checkpoint questions correctly, and then 3 points for watching the video. So even if you answered both checkpoint questions wrong, you still watch the video. I'm going to give you credit for that. So if you look at someone's, it says 50. So that means they got one of the checkpoint questions wrong. This green line represents if they watched the whole video or not. Some of them you can see like the green line shorter. I kind of want to show you. Oh, like this one, you can see she only watched part of the video, and it's yellow, so the color coding also helps. This little clock means that they did it late. so past the deadline. So although he watched the whole video, because it's green, the clock means he did it late. So that's really nice to kind of look at an overview for this. And then also you can kind of go more individually with the student. So if I want to specifically look at how he reacted to the one video, I can see how much time he spent on it, 11 minutes. So the video was 9.5 minutes, so that would make sense. He turned it in late, exactly what time, and when he did it, you know, percent of the video that he watched. If he had a rewatch a section is really cool that it shows me, and it tells me what he answered. So I asked the question if they're independent. It gives you the correct answer and which one he chose. So that's really nice. So that's Edpuzzle. So overall, I think Edpuzzle is a great tool for tracking progress. So let me go on to my next one. Then I also looked at Khan Academy. I have a teacher in my school who uses Khan Academy, and I had my students do a couple activities on it. So I really liked that it was easily integrates with Google Classroom as well. Individual and class reports were easy to read. There's a lot of pre-made content and questions already on it. Khan Academy is known for having the really detailed videos, and we use them like all the time for different things, so that was really nice. And it also differentiates questions for each student. So if two kids are working on the same assignment, chances are they're not working on the same problem. The only disadvantage to Khan Academy is you're unable to pre-schedule the assigning of lessons. So like if I wanted to schedule something for next Monday, I wouldn't be able to do that on Khan Academy. At least I wasn't able to figure that out. Whereas, you know, Google Classroom assignments and even Edpuzzle assignments, I can schedule for months in advance. So Khan Academy was nice. It gives you a nice overview. It lets you know if the students got it right, how many tries it took, if they needed those hints. Also, the feedback here, they have different assignments. So like this is like a turn-in assignment, watching a video. So it's also color-coded. So if I see a lot of green, that's good. If I see a lot of red, that's not so good. So that was Khan Academy. Then my second question was, what kind of tools can I use to differentiate and give immediate feedback to students and the teachers during these like practice activities? Or in this case, you know, the students are watching the Edpuzzle video, then what can they do at home during this online learning? So quizzes, absolutely love it. Again, easily can schedule and assign to the Google Classroom, individual and class reports, so much pre-made content. You can take questions that were already made from other teachers and put them into your own quiz. You can complete quizzes, you can create one completely on your own. The students love it because like memes and comments pop up right away after the question, and they like to see that there's the error analysis option. So if a student gets a question wrong further in the game, they get to retry the incorrect question. And there's also like the gamification elements where they have a scoreboard, an avatar, power-ups. So if you look at the teacher side of quizzes, amazing. So everything is so organized, and this is completely free. Unlike Kahoot, you don't get as detailed as reports. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But you can see what each student did, what their score was, how many questions they got right. It was really easy to read. And I can put in order, and I'm like, oh, I'm worried about these couple down here because they didn't do as well. Then you can go by question. I can see exactly how many kids picked the right answer. Like number 2, I'm worried because a lot of kids, almost a majority of students picked A when it should have been C. So I would go back and be like, oh, why are they picking A? So that's super nice. All right, you can connect standards, and this overview calendar is great. So I see, there's a lot of red going on here. So let me look at questions 1 and 2. So quizzes is great. Highly recommended if you don't use it already. And it works for like any class. I've even done quizzes with my family, and it's just fun to do. Kahoots, again, you can easily schedule things. There's a lot of pre-made content and questions. They get the immediate feedback, the gamification elements of a scoreboard, so they're, you know, friendly competition with their friends. The only disadvantage is a really detailed report requires a subscription. So on mine, I can see each student, what their accuracy is. It looks at questions. So question 1, only 60% got right. I also can see what people are picking at the question, but this is on a paid for subscription. I did pay for one myself. So this does not come in the free one. So that's something to keep in mind. Desmos, love it. I've used it in class, but I've also used it through this online class. Students don't need to get some separate login account, which is really nice. You can do synchronous and asynchronous activities. So I did a synchronous activity for Unit 10. I did an asynchronous activity where they could do it completely on their own for Unit 11. Students are really exploring the ideas and the concepts as opposed to just, being told what it is. The summary reports are nice. All this pre-made content and lessons, but it's also really easy to create your own content. I've done a lot of matching activities on it. However, some activities are not accessible on mobile devices, and they give you that warning before you assign it. Super nice. It gives you an overview of, if students completed the problem, if they skipped over it, did not answer for some of the short responses. Also, you get to look individually at which students exactly chose that question, so that's really nice as well. All right, let's move on to feedback. So the next question's about how technology tools gives you personalized feedback. So our Google Apps for Education, specifically Classroom. All apps are free and can be accessed anywhere. All my students have the apps on their mobile devices. You can comment and grade through Classroom. Students can come back and respond to your comments. And they can turn in assignments from any file, your Google Drive, your computer drive, PDF, an attachment, a link, whatever. So some of the ways I've given feedback is through the comment section on the classroom assignments. Cami, you can do annotations if you have the Cami extension, which was super cool. I've given feedback through email and video chats on Google Hangout. And I've also done through screencasts. So I'll open up the file that they submit and I'll do a screencast. So feel free to check out this video on here. And the last question was, what types of videos provide engaging content? So I make all of my videos, and I did it for my flipped classroom. I've done it through this online learning. I use the Doceri interactive whiteboard to write it out because my students right now didn't have any form of packet. So I just did a blank whiteboard so they can do any of these notes on any sheet of paper they have around the house. And then I use Edpuzzle to add the checkpoint questions. So you can check out one of the videos I made, but I've also done one that Khan Academy's made, and I kind of wanted to compare it. So before I get into the comparison, I do want to point this out. So I had a student send out an email to myself and a couple other teachers, and he's actually saying he wants all the teachers to create videos on Edpuzzle during this time to review content. So I thought, feel free to read through this, but I thought that was super cute. So he really appreciates those teacher-made Edpuzzle videos. So I asked my students, okay, you saw a Khan Academy video, you've seen a lot of videos from me. Which do you prefer? And 91.7% prefer my videos, a few prefer Khan Academy. What I thought was another interesting point, I gave students a video through Khan Academy and then an attached Google form. And I said, would you rather answer those questions on Edpuzzle or Google Form? And although a majority said Edpuzzle because they like staying within one app, a big chunk said Google Form. And I think that goes back to the idea about all the tech issues sometimes Edpuzzle has on the mobile device. Overall, I'm so glad I was able to use so many different technology tools and resources to track progress, to engage, differentiate, and personalize my learning. I like that the tools I researched can be used completely online like I've been doing recently, but also in a blended classroom. I try to look at tools that were free of charge and you don't require a subscription. So that's really nice, and I'm hoping that these tools can help students in the future become a 21st learner. I look forward to everyone's feedback, and thanks for watching.